Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. I heard Phil Jackson's comments, or supposedly his comments, about trade LeBron James and keep Russell Westbrook. What's up, Ryan Gilliam? Okay, then I'm gonna listen to it. I think it's gonna be raw. We'll see. What's up, Blue? What up, True Emperor? Phil Jackson, I heard his comments today. Everybody's in an uproar like, why would Phil say this? And he was a terrible exec in New York. But my thing is, everybody act like Phil Jackson was a great coach. Phil Jackson's one of the most overrated champion coaches that we've ever seen in history. In history. But yet, nobody want to talk about that. We want to talk about what he said about trading LeBron and keeping Russell Westbrook. And in my opinion, that's a great idea because Russell Westbrook would do well with the talent they got or what they're going to bring in more than Bron. LeBron's done. Done for 5 or 6 years. He's just been stat padding and saving everything for offense. And then when they got into the bubble, is anybody not overrated? Giannis isn't overrated. Luka's not overrated. Kawhi's not overrated. They're not overrated. There's a lot of guys I have that's not overrated. Michael Jordan wasn't overrated. He was just overglorified. I got a lot of guys who's not overrated. I could make that list. I got a list of people that's not overrated. Kobe wasn't overrated. Kobe was very underrated. For a superstar, he was underrated. Hakeem Olajuwon was underrated. Dennis Rodman was underrated. Draymond Green is overrated. Joel Embiid just proved to y'all he overrated. He been overrated. Harden has always been overrated. So it's a lot of guys who's not overrated, but Phil Jackson's overrated. Doc Rivers is overrated. Phil Jackson took a team that was basically put in position with Doug Collins. Took that Bulls team to 6 finals appearances. Then he was able to go Blue, you straight, Blue. I don't take things to the heart. I'm just tired because I had a long ass day. But what prompted Phil Jackson to say this? Everybody wants to bring up Phil Jackson's when he said that LeBron James and his posse and said he's an Xbox player. He an Xbox player. You know, he basically never been a fan of LeBron, and LeBron's never been a fan of his. So everybody was like, wow. But nobody ever thought about where the information came from. The information came from Bill Plaschke and the LA Times, right? Why isn't nobody talking about Jeannie? Jeannie could have said that behind closed doors. But my opinion is this. Why do we care about LeBronies when we having some of the best playoff basketball we've had in a long time? But where Phil Jackson's coming from, he's absolutely right. If you want to win championships, you trade LeBron, get his butt out of there, and you run with Westbrook and AD. And I think the Lakers would be way better without LeBron than with him. But they're not going to get rid of LeBron because they need him for marketing and selling tickets. But they got to make the playoffs. The thing is, LeBron James only made the playoffs. I don't know if they would have I don't even know if they would have went far in the playoffs that year if the pandemic didn't happen. If the pandemic didn't happen, I don't think they would have won. I still think the Clippers would have won that year because they were coming together at the right time. What's up, Scoochie? What up, DC? James choked in 11 points. I was watching the game on my phone. I'm still in the second quarter, but I'm going to look at that game and then I'm going to look at the other game. I might do a StreamYard tonight. We might talk about the NFL schedule. Everybody's going nuts with the NFL schedule, which I don't know why. Because anything could change during that time. You still have to go through OTAs. You still have to go through training camp. And you still got to go through preseason. And in the season, you could have injuries or anything happen. Oh yeah, against the Lions. Oh yeah, the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning the division. I think the Eagles gonna win the division. The Eagles gonna win the division. I think the Dallas Cowboys are gonna be last. Well, I think they're gonna be second or third to last. Washington still could do something. Luka about to be eliminated. Well, hey, if he gets eliminated, he gets eliminated. It's always next year. But for what Luka has done so far early in his career has been nothing short of amazing. Luka and Giannis have been balling. What's up? What's up, Taurus? Yeah, they're going to have their hands full. That's what I'm saying. The Cowboys didn't do nothing. They did nothing, and then there's Cowboy fans like the 1980s Cowboy fans. Shout out to that man page. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's a real Cowboy fan. And Fifth Quarter Cowboy. Both of them tell the truth about the Cowboys. That's where I get some of my Cowboy information from, just some of them. Because they don't like what they're doing. Phil Jackson, though, let's get back to what we're talking about. Phil Jackson, what prompted him to say this? Phil Jackson is looking at, look, do you want to win a championship or do you just want to put on a show? Like, if you want to put on a show, then yeah, you keep LeBron. Have him break the record, then call it a day. But you got to make the playoffs. If the Lakers aren't in playoff contention by the All-Star break, they got to trade LeBron. They're probably going to trade Westbrook before the season starts, which I could see happening. It's about time for Westbrook to move on. It's about that time. What up, Andrew? What's up, Chance? But Phil Jackson is overrated. He's been overrated for a long time. Then went to Kobe and Shaq. Then had, because he coached something, he really never had a problem with coaching anybody. Like, the thing that Phil Jackson was good at is managing personalities. If y'all traded Zach LaVine for Julius Randle and Evan Fournier Scoochie, you guys are going to be worse than this year. I would not make that trade. I would not trade Zach LaVine for them two at all. I would try to trade Zach LaVine somewhere where you can get a solid player. You guys just need a closer. Y'all don't have a closer. Well, they saying that Phil Jackson said that the Lakers should trade LeBron and keep Russell Westbrook. I just don't see it. Like, would they be better if they traded LeBron? In my opinion, yeah, because Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, would work better with Anthony Davis than LeBron James. But everybody act like Phil Jackson is a great coach. He's a great manager of personalities. He knows how to manage personalities. Like, if you had a team full of superstars on it and you needed somebody to come in and manage those personalities, yeah, Phil's the perfect guy. Phil could come in and put guys in the right position, have them do this and do that, you know. He could do that. Now, this is where the problem lies in everything. Phil Jackson is just an advisor. He's advising Genie. To me, if they wanted to trade LeBron, they'd have been traded LeBron. Well, no, Chuck Daly different. Chuck Daly know how to, Chuck Daly can coach. You know, he actually made a lot of those guys on the Dream Team better. Like, the best player on the Dream Team wasn't even Michael Jordan. The best player on the Dream Team was Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was the one hitting all the big shots and balling out. You know, Michael, he's great, but Michael really was just chilling. Who's the coach for next year? I don't know. They keep talking about Mike. They keep talking about what's up, Raising Queens? But see, I don't know who they gonna get. They talking about Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson wouldn't work well with them. So What's up, C-Pen? Why are we talking about Phil Jackson? Because they said Phil Jackson came out today and said that the Lakers should trade LeBron and keep Westbrook. That's why we talking about him. And I just basically said, who cares what he says? Phil Jackson's the most overrated championship coach in history. You went from Michael Jordan to Kobe and Shaq, then back to Kobe. Then you went to New York. You messed New York up. You didn't even hire the right guys. But what he said, I mean, he's truthful. If you want to win a championship, you get rid of LeBron. But if you want to keep LeBron, then you just there for the show. You're there for the record to be broken. You want the record to be broken, but it's like I said, I would have never signed LeBron over there. But see, they did it because Jeannie and them was like, all right, we'll bring him over here because, that's what the Lakers are about. The Lakers are about star power. They're about having as many stars on the team as possible. No, Doc Rivers is the most overrated coach, period. But Doc Rivers has never had the talent like this dude Phil has had for a career. But yeah, you can say Doc's overrated, but Phil Jackson's overrated because everybody tries to say he's the greatest coach ever, and it's like, no, he's not. He's not the greatest. What up, Feltimore? You said the New York thing you agree with. Y'all think you think Phil Jackson raising Queens is a real good coach? Phil Jackson's terrible. Phil Jackson is terrible. Phil Jackson inherited a team where he basically was just a substitute teacher. So that's what I'm saying. You got Phil Jackson out here talking big in this. Phil Jackson ain't done nothing. He the Zen master. No, he the shit master. He is the shit master. Well, Felton Moore, Phil Jackson, dog. Who ran the triangle offense? Who offense was that? That was Tex Winters. He did what Doug Collins couldn't do with the Bulls. Well, Doug Collins did all the hard work. The reason Doug Collins didn't win was because the Pistons beat him. However, if they would have gave Doug Collins some more years, Doug Collins would have won a championship, C-Pen. What are you talking about? Doug Collins did for the Bulls what Mark Jackson did with Golden State. He did all the dirty work. He instilled in those guys defense. He instilled in those guys to play team ball. What the hell did Phil Jackson do? Nothing. He just stepped in. That's like me getting a Ferrari. I done got you the Ferrari. All you got to do is just drive that bitch to the club and pull some hose. What work did you really do? I got the Ferrari for you, all shined up and fixed up. Now you hopping in the car just riding. What are you talking about? Phil Jackson ain't do shit. The person who ran the offense was Tex Winters. It wasn't Doug's fault under pressure. They lost to better teams. See, what are you talking about, bro? Like, did you watch the games? What are you talking about? It wasn't about under pressure. Doug Collins was fine under pressure. The problem and everything that happened to the Bulls was your boy Michael Jordan, he kept controlling the ball way too much. And in those situations, Scottie Pippen pissed on himself and migraine and shit. The year before, ready yet, because Michael Jordan was still too dominant of the ball. Phil Jackson wasn't cool under pressure. If you got Michael Jordan, dog, you straight. And then the 90s was so weak, it was nothing but the expansion era. So all the Bulls had to do was just come to play, and they won. The league catered everything to Michael. Phil Jackson ain't do shit. Nah, he was a great manager of personalities. He was good at controlling everybody's temperament when it was time. But other than that, Phil Jackson was overrated. What tweak did Phil Jackson make? What tweak did he make, C-Pen, since you know it all? What tweak did he make? He didn't make no tweak. Steve Kerr didn't make no tweak. What, putting Draymond at point guard? In my opinion, I think that made them worse. Because that made Steph Curry lack what he really should have had was be a point guard. That really hindered Steph Curry. Draymond Green's game has not developed well. His game has gotten poor under Steve Kerr. With Mark Jackson, Draymond Green could shoot the ball, he could score, he could do everything. Steve Kerr has hindered Draymond Green's game, bruh. What has Draymond Green done well? If you look at the numbers Draymond Green had with Mark Jackson compared to Steve Kerr, they're a lot better. Draymond was in better shape. Draymond was cooler. He had a cooler head under that. Steve Kerr ain't do shit. Phil Jackson ain't tweak shit. The only thing that happened was Michael Jordan was the one who got them better. He worked with Scottie Pippen on his handles that summer. Scottie Pippen had an ability which was to facilitate. He could handle the ball. He could put the ball in positions that Mike could never put in positions. So what they did was, all right, I got you. He worked with Mike all summer and got better. Mike made them mentally tougher. Phil ain't do shit. All Phil did was manage the personalities. Like if Scottie Pippen was crying like a little bitch, Phil Jackson knew how to calm Scottie down, whereas Doug Collins would have told Scottie to sit your soft ass in the corner somewhere. That's the only difference. No, he wasn't playing him like that. You know why? Because he had David Lee. David Lee was a better player than Draymond at the time. What are you talking about, C-Pen? He started playing Draymond later. When David Lee got hurt, he put him in the starting lineup. And he played him, and he stuck with Draymond Green. That was one of the issues that Andrew Bogut and them had with Mark Jackson. Because they weren't getting their playing time or their minutes back. What are you talking about, bruh? Dog, stick to the Kansas City Chiefs. You know all about that soft-ass Mahomes. Stick to that. What are you talking about? David Lee was better than Draymond at the time. Are you serious? David Lee was an all-star at that time. What are you talking about? And then when David Lee got hurt, what happened? They put Draymond in. And Draymond never looked back. Oh, I swear, y'all be on La La Land, boy. Y'all be thinking y'all could. My memory is sharp. I remember. Because see, Mark Jackson would put Mark Jackson would put him in there. C. Penn, he wasn't getting minutes at first because David Lee was better than Draymond. What are you talking about? Draymond was coming off the bench. When David Lee got hurt, C. Penn, that's when he got up and Draymond started to play. What are you talking about? I would not have started Draymond over David Lee at that time. David, are you kidding me? David Lee was a better rebounder and a better post player than Draymond Green. What are you talking about? Draymond Green still was developing. To me, by Steve Kerr putting Draymond at the point guard hindered Steph Curry, because Mark Jackson had Steph Curry playing some of the best point guard in the league during that time. Steph Curry actually was playing point guard. Him and Clay was killing. And Steph wasn't shooting all these wild threes like he's doing now. See, if they had Mark Jackson right now, the Warriors wouldn't be looking terrible on some plays like this. Especially that time when they didn't have KD and all them. That's what I'm saying. What up, Unc?
What's going on, nephew?
All right.
What's going on? I thought you would be home and do your mom said. You always running, man.
Yeah.
What's going on, boy? You alright? Fine. You going? You got the deal going on, man. You the man.
I know who that man was, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, who's sitting in my couch?
You the man sitting
I'm about to go off like a black man, dude.
Hey, mama, son. That
Unc
thing
in
came
the house.
for you.
All right, I gotta hook it up.
They say all you have to do is put it in.
All right. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to bounce. My family here, so I'll holler at y'all. Peace.